Part 1: The Blissful Beginning. I used to believe we were the perfect family. Every morning, I'd wake up to the scent of freshly brewed coffee and the soft hum of my wife, Alina, singing while making breakfast. Our three kids, Luca, 11, Mari, 8, and little Leo, 4, would trickle into the kitchen one by one, still wrapped in sleep but giggling at some inside joke. It was loud, chaotic, but full of warmth. Alina and I had been together since college. She had this quiet elegance, the kind of woman who didn't need to speak loudly to be noticed. People said we were a power couple, me, the reliable, somewhat reserved financial analyst, and her, the energetic, compassionate nurse with an infectious laugh. We balanced each other out. At least, that's what I thought. We had routines, rituals, even, that stitched our days together like a quilt. Friday pizza night with homemade dough, Saturday hikes in the woods, and every second Sunday was reserved for no device days where we just existed together, board games, painting, or backyard soccer. These little things made us feel like we were doing something right. Our home was a cozy two-story house on the outskirts of town. A white picket fence, garden beds Alina insisted we fill with roses, and a porch swing that saw more secrets than I care to admit. It wasn't just a house, it was our sanctuary. Alina had a special bond with each of the kids. With Luca, she talked endlessly about science and history. With Mari, it was music and baking. And Leo? He followed her like a shadow, always clutching the hem of her dress with his chubby fingers. I often watched them from the hallway, feeling like the luckiest man alive. But sometimes, just sometimes, there were moments I couldn't explain. A certain silence when I entered the room. Glances between Alina and my younger brother, Roman, that lingered a second too long. I brushed it off. Roman was close to our family, he was practically the kids' second father when I was away for work trips. He had been living nearby for 2 years now, ever since his divorce, and spent many evenings at our place. He was charming, always had been. The golden boy, witty, athletic, with an effortless smile. Growing up, I had always been the background sibling, the one who was dependable but dull. But I never envied him. Not really. At least, not until I started noticing how easily Alina laughed at his jokes. One night, I found Roman fixing the sink with Alina kneeling beside him, handing him tools. They didn't see me at first. The way they looked at each other, comfortably, intimately, something in me twitched. But then they noticed me and smiled. Just family helping family. That's all. Right? I wanted to believe that. I clung to the goodness, the memories, the family we had built. I reminded myself of the way Alina still leaned into me during movies, or how she would whisper, "You're my forever," before bed. I held on to the laughter of our children and the joy of being a father, convincing myself that nothing could be wrong. But the signs were there, subtle like threads slowly unraveling a sweater. A missed call she couldn't explain. A gift Roman gave Leo that I didn't know about. Whispers behind closed doors that fell silent when I approached. I told myself it was my imagination. That I was being paranoid. After all, who would destroy something this beautiful? Part 2: The Heart-Wrenching Discovery. It was a Thursday. I remember because I'd left work early, an unusual move for me. My manager had noticed how many extra hours I'd been putting in and insisted I take a half day. I texted Alina that I'd surprise the kids and pick up ice cream on the way home. She didn't reply, which wasn't too strange, she often left her phone on silent while cooking or napping with Leo. As I pulled into the driveway, the house looked normal. Calm. The curtains fluttered slightly in the open kitchen window. Birds chirped. Nothing seemed out of place. I smiled, already imagining the excitement on Leo's face when I walked through the door with his favorite vanilla caramel swirl. But when I opened the door, I immediately felt something was off. There was no noise. No cartoons playing, no pots clinking in the kitchen, no toddler feet pounding the hallway floor. It was silent. Too silent. Alina? I called, stepping inside. Nothing. I placed the ice cream on the counter and moved toward the stairs. That's when I heard it, a muffled voice. Two voices, actually. One low and firm. The other softer. Urgent. The bedroom door was closed. My stomach twisted. I walked quietly, every step heavier than the last. I don't know what I expected to find. Maybe she was sick. Maybe Roman had stopped by for a quick chat. Maybe God, anything but what I was starting to suspect. I reached for the doorknob and turned it slowly. The door opened with a soft creak, and what I saw shattered me. Alina was sitting on the edge of our bed, her face pale and eyes red. Roman stood across from her, arms folded tightly over his chest, like he was holding himself together. They both turned toward me. Froze. Hey. Alina's voice cracked. Roman didn't say a word. His jaw clenched, his face unreadable. I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to scream. The truth hung in the air like a thundercloud ready to burst. How long? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She stared at me, then at the floor. Roman shifted his weight. Please, I said, louder this time. How long? Alina swallowed. 8 months. The words knocked the air out of my lungs. I looked at Roman. My own brother. My blood. You're supposed to be my brother, I said, feeling my hands tremble. You were here. Every day. With my kids. With my wife. I didn't mean for it to happen, he said, voice low, almost ashamed. It just happened. I turned to Alina. Did you love me at all? I still do, she whispered. But it got complicated. You were always busy, always away. Roman was just there. I laughed bitterly. So I worked too much? That's your excuse? The door to Leo's room creaked. Mari peeked out, rubbing her eyes. Daddy? Why are you shouting? I froze. The reality crashed harder than before. The kids. I knelt down and forced a smile. It's okay, sweetheart. Go back to your room. I'll come tuck you in soon. She didn't move. She looked between me, her mother, and Roman. Why is Uncle Roman here? Alina stepped forward. Sweetheart, go play with your brothers. Mommy and Daddy need to talk. As she disappeared down the hall, my vision blurred. I walked outside. I needed air. The weight of it all was suffocating. Behind me, I heard Alina sob. Roman muttered something about needing to explain, but I kept walking. To the porch swing. The same place where I had once whispered dreams to her. Where we had planned names for our babies. Where I had kissed her hand and told her I would protect her forever. Was it all a lie? I sat there for a long time. Memories flooded me: birthdays, family trips, late-night laughs. All of it tainted now. All of it painted over by their betrayal. The next few days were chaos. The kids sensed something was wrong. Luca overheard a fight between Alina and Roman and stopped talking for nearly 2 days. Mari cried every night. Leo just kept asking when Uncle Romy was coming back. I tried to hold it together, for them. I tried to be the rock, the father they needed. But inside, I was collapsing. Late at night, I replayed everything: every dinner, every smile between them, every time I'd been too tired to notice. The truth was always there. I just chose not to see it. What kind of man misses something so close? What kind of brother does this? And what kind of woman? I couldn't even finish the thought. Part 3: The Aftermath and Resolution. The days blurred together. Alina moved into the guest room. Roman stopped coming around. The silence in the house was different now, heavier, like the walls themselves held their breath every time I walked past her. I didn't tell anyone. Not my parents, not my friends. I didn't want to explain how my brother had taken my wife, how I had lost both without a single blow being thrown. I still slept in the master bedroom. It felt wrong, but it was mine. Ours, once, but not anymore. The bed felt too big. The shadows on the wall too long. I'd lie there at night and wonder if I could have done something different. Worked less. Noticed more. Loved her harder. Trusted less. One morning, Luca came into the room and sat quietly at the edge of the bed. "Dad," he said softly, "are you and Mom getting divorced?" The words cut deeper than anything Alina or Roman had said. I sat up slowly. "Why would you ask that?" I heard her crying. "And I heard you crying too." I froze. I didn't even know Ed heard me. He looked down at his hands. "Did she stop loving you?" "No," I said, after a long silence. "But sometimes love gets twisted. Broken. Are we still a family?" That question unraveled me. I pulled him into a hug, holding him tighter than I ever had before. "We'll always be a family. No matter what happens." Later that evening, I asked Alina to talk. We sat at the kitchen table, the one where we had once blown out birthday candles and carved pumpkins with the kids. Now, it was where a marriage was dissected. "Why him?" I asked. She looked tired. Hollow. He understood parts of me I thought I'd lost. I didn't plan it, I didn't want it. But it just kept happening. And I was too weak to stop it. I nodded slowly. "And now?" "I regret it. Every day. I ruined everything we had." "You didn't ruin it alone." She looked at me, surprised. "I was gone too much. I stopped seeing you. I thought keeping the lights on and the fridge full was enough." We sat there for a long time, two people who had once loved each other completely and now didn't know how to look each other in the eye. A few days later, Roman called. "I know you hate me," he said, his voice quiet. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I just want to say I'm sorry." "I don't hate you," I replied. "But I'm done with you." Click. Some endings don't need dramatic closure. Just distance. I decided to take time off work real time, not just a weekend here or there. I needed to breathe. I needed to figure out who I was without the identity of husband clouding my every thought. Alina and I agreed on therapy, not for us as a couple, but as co-parents. We owed that to our kids. We started rotating nights for bedtime stories, attended school meetings together, and even managed to sit side by side at Maris' piano recital. It wasn't perfect. But it was something. Then, one evening, after months of cold civility and careful arrangements, Alina walked into the living room and said something I never expected. "I'm leaving." I blinked. "Leaving?" "I need to go away for a while. Alone. I need to fix myself before I can be a mother again. I'll be gone 2 weeks. My sister's taking me in." I didn't argue. I didn't beg. She kissed each child goodbye, told them she loved them, and walked out the door. And suddenly, I was alone with my children. Really alone. The first night was chaos. Leo cried for her, Mari refused to eat, and Luca locked himself in his room. But then something shifted. I woke up the next morning and made pancakes. Badly. The kids laughed at the burnt edges. We cleaned the kitchen together. We played board games. We read 3 bedtime stories instead of 1. We built something new from the broken pieces. I stopped checking my phone for messages from Alina. 2 weeks later, she came back. Quietly. She looked thinner, but lighter somehow. "Did you miss me?" she asked. I thought about it. "I missed who we were," I said. "But I'm not sure we exist anymore." She nodded, tears in her eyes. "I understand." We filed for separation the next month. It wasn't angry. It wasn't dramatic. It was the quiet kind of goodbye you give when you've already grieved what's been lost. The children adjust slowly. We found rhythm again. Luca started playing soccer. Mari began writing short stories. Leo became obsessed with drawing families, sometimes with 4 people, sometimes 5. Sometimes I missed her. Sometimes I missed him. But mostly, I found myself again in the laughter of my children, in the quiet strength I didn't know I had, in the mornings when I brewed coffee not for someone else, but just for me. We were no longer the perfect family. But we were real. And that was enough. Thank you for watching. If you've ever experienced betrayal or had to rebuild your life after someone broke your trust, share your story in the comments below. Your voice might help someone else heal.